Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. And this is probably going to be a shorter video because, well, since the Super Bowl and the halftime show, and then especially after all of the music placement and everything, which, yeah, for African American Month and everything they represented, it was amazing, artistic, and wonderful. But it's just so funny how the bigotry and the racism, all of the basic betties and the ridiculous, like, just raise and just, they're just basically letting us know that they'd rather have decent noise and not artistical music that represents more that is spoken or than spoken and stuff. And it's just really irritating because they keep, like, even in the post they keep mentioning singers who, like, okay, they're not my cup of tea, but it's like I said, I listened to see, like, okay, what are these people talking about? And to me it was just like it reminds me of how they season their food. And I said this in one of my last videos. Maybe a little salt, maybe a dash of pepper, that's it. And if they're really dangerous, I'll add some chives to it. Maybe. But that's not how we do things. That's not how we do things. And that's with a lot of nationalities. And that's why it's crazy how a lot of Republicans, yeah, we know who we're talking about. We know which demographic, especially the ultra Christian. Yeah, you guys are what I'm saying, like, because the MAGA crowd. I'm talking about the MAGA crowd. So picture that in your, yeah, okay, because yeah, they can, you could be any nationality. Because I know some of different nationalities, but let's think about the the ones that keep talking on Facebook and Instagram and all the social media saying that was the worst show ever. Picture that person in your head. Okay, now we're picturing the same type. Yep, yep, I know we are. We're on the same platform. Yep. Okay. It's just really annoying because, like, I remember, like, a few years ago, like, while I was first teaching, or I started teaching at the community college, it's like I kind of wanted to show how concerts are, like, the dynamic of the performance, because when you tie in the music component, and that, like, I do teach about music in the classroom, and I wish, like, if I had a couple more weeks I would be able to go into the law within marketing and music a little bit more, because I try to talk about all of the senses, and my students used to not get it. But it's like I said, like throughout the years I kept getting old students write me, and they told me how they now get why I went over even, like, the taste and hearing and everything like that, and why even with disability representation, how I would explain or talk about how the other senses are, like, crucial, and they're more needed for that sale and everything, since the other senses are now more sensitive. But when it comes to music, it's an art. And everyone can have their taste and type, but it's just kind of a pattern with the people who keep saying it was the worst show ever. Majority of them voted for the orange guy. Majority of them don't care that the country is split in half. Majority don't care if we are going back, because they never want to move forward, because they were enjoying their white privilege and the benefits of being the dominant race. They didn't care that having slave in the original, like, song for the nation, national anthem, they didn't care. They don't care. when it comes to music type. And oh, because even some people were talking about, oh, and he put a clown car. um do you know how many country artists had either their trucks and cars in their concerts? I will look them up if you need some guidance or some refreshers. But you're going to talk about clown cars. You're going to talk about clown cars and a lot of different genres of music. There are certain type of vehicles and transportation that are known to be in songs. And so when you call that a clown car, mm, that just shows your bigotry, your ignorance, your hate, and like the fact that you disapprove of who was performing. And a lot of people are like, I don't understand what he was saying. It was English. It was English. Do you need to listen to it again? And that was un-American. That was just as American as you can get. That showed you the African American experience, which is American. When you're taking the DEI, even though people of color and black people were at the bottom of the scale with DEI, but Republicans wanted it taken away so badly because they hated that we even just had that little bit. They, it's like sometimes I just wonder what is going on in this country, because for some reason, like, because if things were fair, why don't we still have the Crown Act? Why are we banning so many books? You want to say freedom of speech until we say something or do something that doesn't meet your quote unquote MAGA religious, like, conspiracy theory expectations. And even the fact, like, I don't know, just looking at that whole performance, and then I mean, some people, they are spitting out the facts one after another about the history that was like in the placement and everything. And, but so many people are just saying how segregated it is because it's all black, and how they didn't get it. And maybe you need to do some homework. Maybe you need to do some research. Maybe this is proof on why we need to teach the African American history, more Native American history, Asian American, like just diversity, because we are brainwashed with the image of the Caucasian American being the hero, when for a lot of places, nations, and everything, they were the colonizers, they were the killers. They were the rapists. They were so many things and so many awful things to so many people. And so when it comes to an artistic approach to show how our country is now going back and now stealing and taking away something our ancestors fought for, because we were trying to fight for equality, and we still don't have equality, but Caucasians, Republicans, MAGA, some are so scared of us getting the equality, because that means that they may have to start trying. They may need to start fighting for that position that used to just be handed to them. Just like how our current president, he was handed his business. He stole money from it. Like, okay, well, in my opinion, from my from the research and everything, but yeah, we all know how he started his business and money, and then we know how he's, and that's the funny thing. They keep talking about merit and everything, and it's kind of off topic from like the Super Bowl performance, but it's not, because it's like people want to keep saying that they don't get it, but with that performance, it showed the hard work and the dedication and the creativity, and like it took a lot of brains and effort and everything to be able to have that. And for me, that would have been like, even with one of my classes, I would have like broken my students into groups, and even said, okay, now it's time for you guys to pick a product. And like, what product would you create a commercial for that for? And it's like, tell me why and how does that represent that product? Because it's a strong piece. And even the petty, oh, I was like, yeah, don't forget the petty. Don't forget the petty. So, because what he did with Drake, and some people real petty on social media. I've seen two or three different obituaries for that man, and I'm just like, dang, y'all wrong. Oh, you petty. I love it. It's delicious, but you wrong. Wow, wow. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that's all that I really need to say with this one. And I'm probably gonna break it down even more when like, but there's other topics I really want to go over, and I'm trying my best. Like, I've been drafting the chapters for one of the next series that I want to write. I still need to finish the first novel, but yeah, it's like while typing today, I kept thinking of a certain topic, and so doing the research and everything. So I'm kind of excited because I'm like, at least this shows I have the start of more than one, but I want to make, oh, on BookTube, I keep hearing some really bad things about uh the what was that one dragon book series? It's like I'm not, or I'm probably not gonna read. Like I don't know. Part of me feels like I try to stay separate from certain books because I never want anyone to think that I got my ideas from them. So I try to read other genres and other things in order for me to make like, because I don't, yeah, it's like I try to make sure that all of my ideas are originally from me. And I know one of my ideas is really crazy. Well, actually, two of my ideas. I had an idea that was a female lawyer, and she was a lawyer for superheroes. And I thought about this back in 2017, 2018, because I remember because it was like a year before my surgery, or a little over a year before my surgery or whatever. But then after my surgery and I started physical therapy, what was coming out on Disney Plus? She-Hulk. It canceled now, so technically I could write it, but now people are going to think that I'm doing fan fiction. And no, it's not. I had the idea because, well, I was going to do it as a add-on or a new series attached to my current novel because it is my main character, but her best friend is a superhero, but it's like she's going to be going through some legal troubles, and so after that part of the novel, I wanted it to kind of stream off into her own, but with the lawyer. I wanted the lawyer to have her own series. But then, yeah, She-Hulk. So I was just like, yeah, okay, maybe that's a hint not to do that. Okay, great. And then I have like another idea, and I remember like when my driver, which I'm going to be showing the story soon, but the petty in my heart, I really want to show I have the license plate number and everything, but yeah, it's like I'm not going, I know it'll be so bad if I do that, but when this driver ditched me and I ended up with 100 fever, I was so like, and I hardly ever get sick, but I remember emailing Lyft and telling them what happened and showing them the proof because at first they acted like I was lying or not telling the truth. But then they contacted, like I had so much proof when they contacted the driver, he accused me of lying. And then when they showed the screenshot, he like, he literally said, how did she know to do that? Because like it was in the rain. I'm walking towards the car with my disability because yeah, he left me because he saw that I had a walker. Yeah, because I'm nowhere near. I'm not gonna say how much I weigh, but I'm like I don't even reach. I'm not even like nearing 200 or any like nothing like that. So no one can ever say that I can't fit in their car or whatever. But yeah, he saw my walker and he drove off. But majority of the time, like, yeah, well, this might help other people with disabilities too. But whenever I get a ride, once I know who it is, I take a screenshot. And I am so blessed and happy I did that night because when I was walking up to the car, he swerved. But I'll tell the whole story next time because there's more to it. But yeah, it's like they didn't fire him. And that's one reason why some people are so upset with the 500 like pound woman and everything like that. I forgot her name. I know she's an artist, a rapper, and everything. So okay, I'll call her the artist or the rapper. It's like people are so upset that she's suing, and it's just like, well, I can't blame her. I wish I sued because I mean, I literally got left and literally got sick. It was during like the late winter where it's still freezing outside, but it's raining, and I was free. Like I had to wait for another vehicle because since he drove away, he canceled it. Another car would automatically, but like by the time I got back into the building, it would almost be time for me to walk back outside for another vehicle. So, but yeah, I got left and they didn't fire him. At first, they told me, oh, we're going to get rid of him. We're going to fire him. We're going to lies. So I've got a lot of feelings on that one because it's like a lot of people are upset that this guy is fired. And I feel a little bad, but at the same time, I remember getting ditched over an illegal reason because with Lyft and Uber, you're not allowed. Especially like I mean, if it was my scooter, okay, it's harder for some vehicles to fit the scooter. So and that way, so then it's like if I'm asking them for assistance, no, they can't. Or most of them don't want to deal with that or whatever. But it was my walker. It weighs like 2 or 3 pounds, I think, something like, or maybe 5 pounds, whatever. But it's just, and yes, like I know, like I'm telling the story, but I'm not telling because there's so much more to it or whatever. But it's like, I guess I'm saying part of it now because like I just keep hearing people making fun of her, but I guess kind of like my intro, my view of humanity is a whole new tea. I've been in her shoes. I understand how it feels for a driver to leave you, and especially when you need a ride and you are dependent on that ride and you can't help it and stuff. It's like you have the money and everything like that. You're ready to get into the vehicle, but they're stopping you. So, but like kind of like with Kendrick, I'm petty just like he is. And I really, really, really want to show his plate number because I have it. I have all of his information. And I wouldn't, part of me would only show part of it. But when he tried to tell the Lyft company that I was lying and making it up, but then Lyft showed him my screenshot, yeah, yeah. So the fact that he literally lied until they showed him, and oh, he was like, how does she know how to do that? How did she know how to do that? Because he thought he was just going to get away with it. He thought he could just drive away and leave me stranded in this, like, he thought he was just going to get away with that. And that's pathetic, rude, and awful. So that's one reason I have compassion for her because I understand how it feels to be left in the, it was at night, and it's like I don't know what month it happened, but I probably chilly outside or whatever. I mean, for me, it was freezing. Um, if you know how Michigan in this like even at the beginning of our spring, it's still cold outside most of the time. So, but anyways, I'll tell the whole story next time or whatever. Just know that please just think outside the box a little bit, maybe have a little empathy a little bit, because all of us are going to come to a time where we are going to be dependent on somebody, and especially a company, and in some way they are going to either take advantage or run off on us or do something to a point where we are in need of them and we're dependent on them. So then now we're stuck, or now we're without. And it's not because of the money either, because I don't want people to say, oh, it's probably because they couldn't pay. No. And I tip all my drivers, so it's like I think I forgot if we get scores. I think the passengers get scores. It's like I have a great score or whatever. It's like if I could have scored him, oh, he would have, like, if you can get 0 stars, because what kind of heartless person? Because literally it's just I have a walker, that's it. And if he thinks I can't tip, because it's like I was leaving work, so I'm at the community college. Trust me, I tip. Most people think I'm the student, because I remember one of the drivers, because it was 2 or 3 days that I needed a ride or whatever, because like vehicle was getting worked on, fixed or whatever. And so it's like I remember my driver, same well, yeah, I'll say like same nationality too. He Oh yeah, because they have a picture of the driver too, because yeah, I have his picture too. I might show the picture and just hide the plate or whatever. But I remember when the guy was like, so you going back to school, you going to school? I'm teaching at the school. And I remember he was like, oh, you're not teaching at the school. Oh, but yeah, I keep saying, I'll tell, like, because yeah, there's still so much more, especially with that or not phone with that car ride conversation. Because, yeah, because all of a sudden he was saying so many ableist, racist things. Because yeah, he went to the race too. And after I corrected him, oh, just don't listen to us. Oh, and like people like me, people, because one reason I said same nationality, because he even said, people in my culture, we don't really think much of you guys. He said that. He said that during the car ride. And I just kind of, I was like, excuse me? And he was like, well, you know how you guys are. It's like, and yeah, anyways, okay, I'll stop. It's like part of me wants to tell the whole story, but I'm gonna need at least a 1 or 2 parter, because, yeah, anyways, yeah, you get the gist, you already know. So, but with Kendrick, he tied in the history, the struggle, the petty, and just the artistic ability of how to tie lyrics into empathy, sympathy, and engagement. And if you missed out on that, maybe you need to go back to school and learn something of the literary arts and maybe even performing arts, because it's like with lyrics, and sometimes buried in the words is a message. Buried into the words, it speaks of culture and struggle, but also a path to happiness, a path to achieve more, and what we need to do, a game plan. So, but this is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. And I know I talked a lot about that situation. It still hits hard. And especially I already have to face racism and sexism. And I faced a lot of ableism before I was even diagnosed. And that's what a lot of like, and that's one reason I mention Oakland University a lot, because while going to that school, everyone called me a liar. They're like, nothing's wrong with you. You just don't want to pick up your feet. Oh, she's lying. Oh, her perfect sister walks right, so she needs to walk right too. Oh, like, so when I have to face that all of my life, and then all of a sudden I get left because of my now diagnosed disability, now I'm getting ditched when it's like if I was a student or a professor, but it's like I'm literally trying to go to work. Most people want me to stay home. Most people want me to hide because they don't want to see me, because in their eyes, I'm pitiful or I'm unable to do. But it's just really frustrating. It's like I'm literally, all of my life, always tried to be the best person I can be. I've tried to build myself up as much as humanly possible while they try to tear me down. They're always trying to tear me down in one direction or another. So being a woman and being black and having a disability, I'm everyone's always trying to tear me down, to be smaller and like just more despicable than their lives, especially the undecent white men and decent white men. They really try. And check out my Patreon. I have the link in the description. I have screenshots for days of how the so-called decent white men treat me and what they rate to me, because they don't like that I have a, like, even on the dating apps, I can only say I have a master's degree. I have two. And so when men kept putting me down for having a degree, and some were telling me only white men invest, in one of my pictures, I write a little paragraph because I got tired of the trolling and how white men kept telling me that I'm not doing what black people are supposed to be doing. Oh, but yeah, check out the Patreon. I'll talk to you later. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will have another story for another day. And knowing me, I'll probably dig into the Kendrick performance again. Oh, and the Batiste one. He's amazing. He's wonderful. And he has such a huge heart. Oh, and like his wife, like, see, I wish I had a marriage like them. See, yeah, I'm going to talk about that later. Because there's like a list of celebrity couples where if I could find a man like them, like one of those men, including him, I would love to get married. It's like, 'cause especially not a lot of people know his wife painted or like created that piano as an art piece. That's her art on that piano. So like I don't the beauty of him playing that music on that piano is kind of like their forces combined. And to me, that was just such a beautiful and amazing thing to watch. So, but a lot of people were putting the music and the art down, and I'm just thinking how you should be ashamed. But yeah, there are some power couples where the men uplift the women and the women uplift the men. And I just think it's absolutely wonderful and amazing. And if you've listened to the story about Tomas, that's how I thought our relationship was going to be when he asked me to be his girlfriend. I was literally working on uplifting him and getting his business together. But next thing I know, he didn't want to uplift me. So writing a children's book was too much for him. Me being an author was too much for him. Anyway, take care. And with if you don't want to like, comment, and subscribe, maybe okay, well, in the messages, at least give me a little, like one emoji whenever you're trying to be petty with somebody. Yeah, at least that'll give me a laugh or two.